Hi, Tessa, and welcome in. I'm so pleased to be able to showcase the incredible Tessa Rawson. Tessa is a public speaking coach and she gets people on TEDx stages. And she also supports people that are pitching for investment as well. She's got well over 12 years of experience. She's worked with clients all around the world. And Jeff and I are so lucky to be able to call her a client of our very own. Tessa, before we jump into what it's been like to work together, can you just set the scene and talk us through what led you to making the decision to working with Jeff and I?
Yeah, of course. I'm so happy to do this with you today because you came across my radar when we were living on a sailboat in the Caribbean, and I came to my
Good.
first super connector. And I think it was 2 years ago we just moved onto the boat. And I just remember that energy in the room. And obviously, I've been to a few super connectors over the years and just loved all the incredible women in that space and what you created with that environment. And so then when we moved back to the UK, I haven't lived in the UK for 20 years. And so my business has been going in its current form for about 5 years as a public speaking coach. And it was pretty steady, but I knew that moving back to the UK, I needed to restart in this environment. I didn't really know anyone. And so I'd already kind of been surrounded by some of the people that I met through the Super Connector and through you. And I knew about your energy and your cheerleading. And so when I kind of was having this moment of going, I need to make some progress in my business. I know what I want and I know what it might look like, but I don't quite know how to get there. And that was when I kind of looked into more of what you do and the one-to-one work that you and Jeff do. And it just seemed to be completely the right fit for helping me get to meet those goals.
Fantastic. And I know it's relatively early days. What would you say that has been the biggest changes that you've experienced? 'Cause I know you were talking about the cheerleading and the energy, but we've gone so much deeper than that, haven't we? What have been some of
Yeah.
the changes that you've seen in our time together?
I think what I've loved is the fact that it's been such a short time. We started working together probably really 6 weeks ago. And it for me it was a huge mindset shift. I think just knowing that we're working together, having set these goals really early on, and being able to have someone on board to say, you know what, not just this is what we can help you do, but here's actually some strategy. Here's strategy, here's tactics. What do you want to achieve? Okay, let's go and do that straight away. We worked on my offer, I think after my signature offer for helping people get on the TEDx stage, which I call the TEDx Pathway. And you guys were so helpful in that first session of work that I've basically been doing for 5 years, but haven't really had the language and a package or an offer that I felt really great about. And we did that day one. And I think I got a client from it within 2 weeks,
You
which
did. It
was
was
just, I think,
excellent.
talk about results. That was amazing. And I think, like I said, it's not because I didn't know how to be in my business. I just needed someone to take me to that next level. And I think the work that we've done in that short time has been very much about strategy. It's not
Yeah.
just about having a goal and having a cheerleader. It's about someone on the end of the phone to answer a quick question and give you a really tangible response, or just to kind of vibe check on something and
Mhm.
someone say, you know what, that is a really good thought. Let's get into it. And then we have a call. And so I think that's the really big thing that I've been taking away. I wrote a few other things down. Let me
Thank you.
just
It's
have a
always
look.
good to have your notes to hand.
Yeah, right. I wanted to make sure I say all the things that I feel
Thank
because
you.
it's been really impactful. I think the women that I've met through you as well, through the one-to-one and the retreat, has been amazing. Having a group of women who are cheerleading each other, but also in a way that challenges you and supports you in a really meaningful way. I think that's quite rare. So I'm
Yeah.
already collaborating with one of your other one-to-one clients. That's really special. And I think that's for me the thing that has been quite very different from any work that I've done before and thinking about my business. It hasn't always been about thinking about what how I can expand it. It's more about how to get to a specific point rather than what are all the other options that we could look at. And I think
Absolutely.
that's something that you and Jeff have really helped me with is, well, let's look about this strategy. What does that look like? How can we get there? What do you need to do with your website? Okay, not just that's a nice idea, but let's do it. Let's get a draft done. Let's get some feedback. Great. What's next? So it feels very purposeful.
Yeah.
And then also for me, having someone to be not necessarily accountable to, but someone to keep me accountable to myself has been really important. And I think that is one of the biggest things that I've loved about it, even since we first agreed that we were going to work together, even a
Yeah.
month before we actually had a one-to-one. I had all this motivation to be like, I want to be ready for when I first meet with
Yeah.
Laura so that we can hit the ground running. And I feel like we've been running ever since.
Absolutely. And do you know what? The rest of this year is going to keep getting better and better, Tessa. You know your stuff inside and out. And like you've alluded to, and it's funny enough, this is a theme that's been coming out on the testimonials. All of you ladies are highly intelligent and so good at the technical elements of what you do, and how you support your clients is second to none. The challenge therein lies around the strategy and just all the business side that comes with it, because
Yep.
none of us were taught all of this, were we, when we started our own businesses? So I'm really pleased with being able to help you there. And then, as you alluded to, I think being able to be part of this small, intimate community of peer-to-peer learning and having that trust. I know you mentioned the word trust before as well. It's so integral, isn't it? When you're opening up about your desires and your fears and the limiting beliefs that you've got. But I loved watching you in the retreat, and it was almost just like ping, ping, ping. You're like, I could do this and I could do that. But like you said, you could do all of these things, but what is the stuff that's going to move you on further? Because you're a fellow mum of three too. So
Yeah.
resources, time, money, and so on, it's limited, isn't it? So I love the fact that we're able to get down to business straight away. And having worked with us, who was just a little bit further down the line than you, we can say, look, in our opinion, do this, do that, and you are going to get that success that you're already starting to get. Perfect. Okay. So what would you say if there was a gorgeous woman out there who's thinking, well, actually, Laura, I'm doing all right in the business, but I know I could do so much more. I know that I've got blind spots. And I'd love to have somebody's eyes all over my business and also be able to trust somebody so much that I know they've got my best interest at heart and they're going to help me to create a business on their terms, not on mine or Jeff's terms. What would you say to somebody that was thinking about working with us?
I would say that having making the decision to invest in a coach is it's obviously a huge financial
Yeah.
decision, but it's a personal decision as well. You have to be working with the person that you know gets it on so many different levels. Like you said, it's not just the business side, it's the personal side. It's also just being human and recognizing what's reasonable in our businesses and having someone who's got the experience to say, not just you can do this, you're not just a cheerleader, but here's a strategy for getting there,
Yeah.
keeping you true to yourself as to what's reasonable, what you said you were going to do. And if you know that you have more in your business and there's more for you, and you just need someone to help guide you on one side and push you on the other, you're absolutely the person to do that.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Well, Tess, I'm sure everybody watching this, whenever they land on this, will see the incredible business that you've built. And you really are helping all of these trailblazers around the world to get on more TEDx stages and also to secure more investment to grow their brilliant businesses too. So, congratulations, my darling.
Thank you.
Fabulous. Thanks so much for your time, Tess. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Laura.